Hey YouTube, I'm Brick Smith, and welcome to Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle.
Hello.
Hello.
One of these days, I need to like study your finesse in that it's not like you're pretty good about not always having the glare in your glasses.
Oh, you're talking about these right here?
It happens,
I
but
don't know where. Is there glare?
yeah, I can see it right now. But most of the time, you're pretty good. Just the way you angle your head that you can't.
Right.
I almost always is
Right.
like glare, and I hate it. I can't stand it.
It's because I got a fat head that weighs me down. See, because this here, and this is where I keep it because I'm always tired. Or whatever.
And so I needed to learn to just be tired.
Just be tired.
I mean, if I
Yeah, there you go.
it
Yeah.
goes away,
Yeah.
but that bothers me. Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Hey, the finesse of the glass.
Another episode of Forever Sorting, quarantine edition, volume 2.
Woo. You want to talk about that for a minute?
I mean, we could talk just like for 20 seconds. Everybody, stay healthy, stay safe out there, and listen to what your government's telling you.
Right. Stay home unless you're an essential. What is it? Essential employee.
Yeah, essential worker. I don't know.
Right. By the way, folks, my sister, she reposted something. Says, "Don't forget about the corrections officers. We're going every day into work, making sure that the monster doesn't come get you or get out to get you, and not just the coronavirus or COVID-19, but that evil little thing or that mean old thing that."
Hey, remember, I think that's a pretty common thread in apocalyptic movies. Is like you're like, oh wait a minute, now all the criminals are out, and I feel like that's a common thing.
12-hour shifts, folks.
Got to keep them separated.
That's right.
Cue music cue.
Also, real quick, fun fact: I had two youths that were arrested yesterday in the great city of Tallahassee for breaking curfew. So they're serious about that too, folks.
Yeah. Are the beaches closed finally in Florida?
What beach? I don't know.
I in my brain, it's the scene from Jaws where they're all begging the mayor to close the beach. He's like, "Oh, the tourism money."
Come on. Disney World or Disney? What is it? Disney World? Disney World's closed.
Yeah, I mean it's all.
Yeah.
But everybody, just and I don't really have any reason to believe that the awesome people in the community would not be listening.
Oh, it's not them. They're not the problem. Yeah. It's everybody else.
Yeah, it really is everybody else. I was saying earlier in another stream, so my wife works in food service.
Yeah.
She works in a sandwich shop. No, it's not Subway. And
Eat Fresh.
It's not that one. That is their main competitor, though. And she is essential because it's food service. And I guess food service and grocery are both essential. Although I would argue that really it should just be grocery. But I mean, if things are really dire, do you need to go to McDonald's or can you just go get food and make it at home and stay in your home, which is what you're being told to do? I digress.
There are some people that can't cook, Kevin.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine too. So her establishment does not have an open lobby, is not letting more than 5 people because the Connecticut governor, as of last night, has said that we're going another step, saying you cannot have more than 5.
We're
people.
10. We're 10 right now.
Yeah, so we're at 5. You can't have more than 5 people in their establishment ordering and taking to go, and then also, of course, doing delivery. She's been working normal full-time hours, actually more than full-time hours this whole week. It has been busier for her at her restaurant than when they grand opened a year ago. And they cannot keep up with it. And I'm sitting there going, why are these people not at home? But like she has an employee at the door keeping people out, saying you cannot come in here. Like we can only have so many people in this restaurant at a time.
A bouncer? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me he's my size.
And the other thing, here's the other sad thing, is that a lot of people are being rude assholes is what they're doing. And I get it because, this is like the same thing when you talk about like panic buying. right? When you panic buy toilet paper, it's because you are losing control over things in your life.
Yep.
You are finding and seeking out things you can control to make you feel better. And so you are stressed, scared, worried, all those things. And you're like, you know what? But I can take it out on this sandwich shop employee. So they are being ruder than they ever have been.
Yep.
She literally came home crying yesterday
Yeah.
because some guy accused my Mexican wife of being racist and said that because they had hit the limit of 5 people in the store at that time, this gentleman accused her of being racist, saying you're only letting white people in the store. Doesn't make any sense. And then threatened to hit her. And I was like, what is wrong with all of you?
That's terrible.
So, but yeah, she has been, like she said, like all week, it's like a grand opening every day.
Good God.
And it's just like, again, it blows my mind going, stay at home? Like, stay at home?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
how about stay at home?
How about just stay at home? I don't know.
Stay at home.
So
how about you let me go? How about you let me go do corrections and you stay at home?
Yeah. So we'll see. Hey, take care of yourselves, everybody. Stay healthy. Don't be rude. Don't be rude to people that are still having to get, because it's also for those people like Julian and the people that we know that are still going out there. You know, there is a little bit of degree of being a little worried going out. Like, you don't know. It's like everyone's like, stay at home. You're like, yeah, I'm going to go out and go to work. It's just like, you got to be a little stressed about like, what's going to happen.
And here's the thing is that I work with the same people every day. And they're adhering to the rules, but you got to remember,
gotta love those bricks.
no, you got to remember that the kids come through the back door.
Yeah,
could have been in a group of 20, could have been coughing on each other,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
don't know what I'm getting into.
And you're coming home to a family
every day.
So it's just like that's a whole nother level of stress and worry and all that stuff. So
Truly.
Everybody, just be smart. Be smart, please. Think about everybody. Be conscientious of what's going on.
Be vigilant, and let's get through this. What is it? Hashtag get this through this together.
Sure.
Or something. What is it?
I don't know. Is there a hashtag?
There is one. CBS has got one going on. It's something like
I mean, Instagram is totally pushing the hashtag stay at home.
That thing, yeah.
They're pushing that hardcore.
Now, I don't blame them. I'm about that, man. If I didn't have to leave my house, I wouldn't.
And YouTube, right? YouTube switched it to say, like on Twitter, I noticed the YouTube handle switched to YouTube stay at home or something like that.
Okay.
And the icon is the YouTube play button with a roof on it.
Oh, is that what happened earlier when you couldn't get on YouTube?
Yeah.
Maybe they were just
they were readjusting everything.
Anytime a computer doesn't work, I say, haha, I got the coronavirus.
Somebody updated something.
There it is.
But yeah, so I think that's enough about that.
That's way too much.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story: stay home and don't be an asshole.
Yeah, those. Okay. So let's do Doc's favorite part of our segment where we go to the comments.
Yeah. Hey, let's take 45 minutes to do it. No.
Sure. So yeah, I got the episode from last week up, and I'm gonna run through our comments here. Let me change this.
Before you started on the comments, apparently it was from the comments that I read, it was definitely one of everyone's favorite episodes. So guys, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch that one. Yeah. Because you can watch it out of order. It'll just be weird.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
I think it's episode 70, 85 or something. We're up there. 62. The one we're on right now is 62 or 60?
We're on 63.
63. This is 63. If it actually turns out to be an episode. It could be a special. You
guys have been waiting. It's time for the second intro episode. It's been on the tip of your tongues for a year.
Yeah, they've been.
All right. So first comment came from Ken Marlowe Bricks.
I know him.
Ken said he had his two-part. First, he said, congratulations on having both eyes again, Julian.
Thank you.
And then followed that up with Kevin. That heater noise is the same noise I heard when you started the Doodle stream on Friday. And that was when I had unmuted my microphone. There's two potential. It could be the heater because there's a heater for the house. And in that other room, not this room, but last time I recorded in the other room where you guys saw the heating oil drum behind me. That room is where the house heater is located. Could have been that, but I also have a dehumidifier for the basement. That's also in that room. I turned off the dehumidifier, and I keep forgetting I need to turn it back on. It's been off since last Friday. Not good. Not a good thing to do. It could have been one of those two things, but it's weird because sometimes the microphone. This is the same microphone you have, Julian. It's a good microphone.
It is a great microphone.
And if you got all your settings right, it will only pick up your voice and won't pick up. So I don't know what happened, but whatever.
Well, I don't have my settings right apparently because you can always hear my chair creaking.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty loud. All right. Next comment comes from Doc Sampson. Doc says, forever sorting with can cracks open. Kevin A. Hinkle, I'm not unbalanced, demands awareness. Okay. Corruption versus the fans. Wonderful. Yeah. All the good stuff there, Doc. You got it all. Stud Sidious says, don't eat too much money, Kevin. You'll get sick. You can find Bricksmith in the middle of the night, mummified in salami. Just a hand with a jug of Captain sticking out from the cured meat.
There it is. Yum, yum, yum.
Rick Blaze. Rick Blaze says some major progress was made in this episode. Great one.
Thank you, Blaze.
We got another Stud Sidious says, LMAO, always leave it to the global big thinkers to throw a wrench into the marketing initiatives. I have an idea. Let's put our creative marketing team on hold because we think we sell too much. Hey, I have another idea. Let's spend half the budget on an overpriced ad agency to tell us how to decrease sales. I'm sure they will have a strategist in thick tortoise frame glasses that has amazing ideas which can't logistically be accomplished. The sad part is I love thick turtle frame glasses. That is the sad part. Duju20 says, getting very interesting. Good one, guys. Keep up the good work. We got Duju to break the mold on that comment.
Man, dude, what are you doing?
Bricks on the Dollar says, there is no Pepe Sylvia. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I guess I'm not up on my memes.
Okay, Clutch, go ahead and put it down in the chat or in the comments and let Kevin know what the hell that is. I think it has something to do with a thing.
You're probably right. Let's see here. Scott H510 says, I don't think the best writers in Hollywood could write this bizarro story, Kevin. It's wonder you survived all this with your sanity. Or did you? Next comment is from Blockhead UK.
Jamie, you're going to have to look at the video on that one and see what just happened.
Blockhead UK says, whoa, that was quite an episode. Sounds like Lego collectively lost their minds. And then you leave us on a cliffhanger. I kind of don't remember what it was. But please, no digressions next week.
Kaz, I can't help him.
I mean, we're going to keep talking about things. I don't know if I'm going to continue the exact cliffhanger. Shy Time is my time says, you know that part towards the end of a good movie where you're like, damn, this is almost over. This is where we're at right now. Yeah, that is where you're at right now. Yeah. We got another this is a lengthy one from Alex McBrick.
All right, Alex, what you got, buddy?
My God. Oh, wait. When we say that, we're supposed to do this. My God. Says, my God, this story is starting to make me want to hop back into my dark ages. What a brilliant company. Holy crap. I'd like to meet the top CEO guy or whoever came up with this demand shaping idea. You have to be some special kind of stupid in order to make a system designed to make your own company lose sales, celebrate that idea, and then go, oh crap, we lost money. Let's fire everybody. What also astounds me is that the phrase, we can't do that because it would drive sales, is even being uttered by a company, and they don't even think about the consequences of that statement. Can you imagine Steve Jobs or any other sane person really hearing people say that? I know a couple of people in business at university, and I love to ask them what they think of this. I can't imagine anyone would think this is a good idea, but alas, the idea happened. Sorry for being such a long comment, but this part of the story just bewilders me and infuriates me. I can't even imagine being you, Kevin, during all this. I think I would have said, see you later at that point.
Let me tell you what that is. Okay, folks. What Alex McBrick is Canadian. So to get that response out of a Canadian, dude, he is pissed. he might as well have been just dropping F-bombs in the comments there. That's a pissed off Canadian.
Outraged.
Completely and totally.
Brixar, we got a comment from Brixar says can of worm.
Can of worms.
Can of worms. And then our last comment is from Bone Shaker, and Bone Shaker says, "So let me get this straight. Lego decided not to market to keep shelves full, which could have been done by simply raising prices. That's how supply and demand works. Then they lost their shit. When Brick's Universe and Brick Fair said, oh man, this is all kinds of saucy. Fuck it, let's advertise the shit out of this." Kevin looks off vacantly into the distance and says, "What?" Bone Shaker, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Bone Shaker.
So Alex McBrick and Bone Shaker's comments are literally the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the Canadian and the American version of the same comment.
Yeah. And look, Doc, 15 minutes in. We're 16 minutes in, we're done. Those are the comments.
All right, good night, folks. No.
And remember, it's like no. So, yeah. It is truly amazing. Alex, you were saying like I'd like to ask some of my university folks about this. Look it up. It's not a secret. I vividly remember the Forbes magazine about and it was a very glowing article about the place in which the Lego group could be, in which to demand their shape down should be just astonished and glorified. And it's just like, what? And when that article came out, I mean, they didn't do it without, having interviews with Lego PR and stuff like that. The article was shared internally too as a celebration. It's like, look how good, look, we're getting the attention of the toy industry. Do you see how? And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Y'all going to hell for this one.
Yeah. So if you need some, sources to share, feel free to look that up. I'm sure there's other articles out there because this was a real thing. This was a thing Lego was open and even open externally about, is that they were shaping their demand down. And it was dumb. It was ridiculous, and everybody was upset about it. And look at where we ended up. So yeah, that all happened. And so yeah, we also talked last time about the new shows entering into the scene and just their level of professionalism and success really threatened the Lego machine and put a lot of the existing support structure for events like Brick World and BrickCon and Brick Fair in jeopardy, in huge jeopardy. And it wasn't because of anything other than feeling threatened that everybody has gotten good. It's like, whoa.
So help me out here. And you probably answered it. I just want to throw this out here. What was it about Brick Con, Brick World, and Brick Fair that didn't threaten Lego?
There was this stigma.
Because they're big.
They're
still big.
Yeah, there was a stigma for years and years and years. It's probably still pretty prevalent that you guys, right?
A community
are quote unquote just fans. Fans are not to be taken seriously. And when they think about these conventions, a lot of the people in Lego first of all, a lot of them have no clue that there even is a public component. They honestly think it's like a Star Trek convention and a bunch of fans get together. They come in one spot. They all talk about Lego. They love Lego. They're buying Lego. They're consuming Lego. And then they go back home. And you guys are quote unquote high affinity users. There's nothing that the company can do and again, we could dissect this. There's nothing you can do to get you to buy more. You're already buying peak. You're already, and again, this is just for the sake of this conversation.
Oh yeah, I know.
You're already, you're already going, oh, look at all the new city sets coming out. I need that. You're already consuming Lego products at such a high level that the company doesn't need to pay attention to you. They need to look at low affinity, and they need to look at medium affinity, and they need to look at kids and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So they sit there and see this as, why should we care at all that a bunch of fans are getting together in Chantilly, Virginia, or Schaumburg, Illinois, or Seattle, Washington, mm-hmm. and they're going to just, what? They're going to talk about Lego and our products for the next couple of days. Who cares? A lot of them, I mean, it took me years to get people to realize, I said, well, you do realize on the weekend they open the doors and they expose the Lego product and the Lego brand to thousands of children and families. And I mean, you could like imagine me in a nice suit and be like, whoa, what? Like, it was just like, so they
didn't know.
They have no idea.
They didn't care.
I mean, they didn't have any idea, and they didn't have any care to have an idea. And so no matter what I would say, and of course, a lot of it's a numbers game. Like, what are the numbers? What are the numbers? What are the numbers? I could say until I'm blue in the face, there's 500 AFOLs, there's 1,000 AFOLs, there's 2,000 AFOLs, there's 500,000 AFOLs. They don't care.
No.
It's how many kids, how many families are being exposed to the Lego brand. That's the numbers that raises eyebrows and opens up pocketbooks. That's when people are like, what can we do to help you? So there was never, like, people just didn't care about the existing conventions because they weren't seen as beneficial to the Lego brand.
I got it.
They're fans just being fans, talking about what they're going to talk about. Why should we care? And that was a lot of my job. My job as a community manager was to try to convince, an incredible amount of people across multiple business units and multiple markets that yes, they are fans. And believe me, there's a lot of fan noise that we're gonna move that aside. Let me deal with that. It's gone. But at the core of it, you still have people that are inspiring a new generation of Lego fans in ways that we as a company cannot do. And it's like, and for every one Lego employee that gets it, 50 don't.
That's insane.
And they're just like, yeah, all right. So I don't know if maybe that answers your question. And it's just like the other
Ask your question.
Well, yeah. The other really difficult thing about it is it gets back to a lot of things with community management and community engagement is anecdotal. It's really good, feel good stories, right? And we all have them, all of us. Yep. You probably have dozens of stories of little kids coming up to you at a show or someone you've inspired someone to create a YouTube channel. All of that
never happened.
Right. All of that in a toy company marketing setting is anecdotal, useless story. That's all it is. Like it's great. It feels good, and we all feel good about it.
Yeah.
But what's the numbers? Like, what is it doing for the bottom line? And so a lot of my job also was, again, this is why I was always feeling like I was shifting gears. Because I'm like, okay, now I'm facing the company. I need to be talking numbers. I need to be talking metrics. I need to be talking, how are we helping you so that you can give me stuff and then I can turn back around and go, no, Lego cares about what you guys are doing here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to play these games.
You did
all the work. And so metrics was so important. And so, during my time, I started to, like, as much as I can, because Lego doesn't own Brickworld or Brick Fair. Like, it's not their shows. And, it's all based on a mutually beneficial relationship with somebody.
Sure.
There has to be trust. Todd from Bricker has to trust Kevin at Lego. So to even give me the numbers, right? To tell me how many public are showing up, how many AFOLs are registering. I mean, there is a certain degree where you can go and see these things, but there were shows that were not comfortable sharing that information with everyone else, and they would only share it with me. I remember in some of the smaller shows being in the closing ceremonies, and people would ask, could you tell us how many public visitors? And they say, we don't share that information. But they would share it with me because it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So I was always trying to, like, get more precise definitions of those things because I know the company was demanding that of me. It's like, well, you say 5,000 people showed up. Well, what does that mean? It's like, well, 5,000 people showed up. It's like, well, how many of them were age 0 to 5, and how many was 5 to 8? Because that's what a toy company does, you know. And so we implemented, thankfully, with the help of the convention owners, a lot of crisper definitions of things.
Mm-hmm.
What is an exhibitor? What is an AFOL? What is a TFOL? What is a KFOL? What's the difference between a KFOL and a child public visitor?
Mm-hmm.
For the public visitor, you know, is it kids? Is it parents? Is it grandparents? And we even did a couple surveys. Like we did surveys at some of the bigger shows, and I just copied the Lego survey data. I wanted there to be no room for argument.
Mm-hmm.
My survey was not as good as their survey.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend Brick Fair to a fellow Lego fan? What about it made you inspired to purchase a Lego product? Like the same kind of thing you would see, like getting a Lego set and seeing that win free Lego on the back of a booklet.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. And we had scored higher than Lego Kids Fest had scored. And that's an event, you know, with multi-billion-dollar backing of this company. And if you like get into the details of it, yeah, Kids Fest has really nice looking displays in terms of beautiful sculptures and just, I mean, phenomenal marketing activations where you've got like, it's Galaxy Squad. So here's a beautiful Galaxy Squad layout, and you can go over there and pick up human-sized blasters and shoot things. There's a massive brick pit with 1 million bricks on the floor. Compared to like Brick World that has, you know, a couple splash pools out there with, you know, brick that maybe it's cleaned, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
And yeah, some really incredible mocks, really inspirational mocks, but no like giant statues, no like statues of your favorite IP characters, or, you know, activations that you would like hands-on thing. I mean, a lot of these shows are hands off. That's the whole point. And we scored higher. And so like my dream, I think I've mentioned this before, my dream upon dreams was like, how on earth could we one day marry the concept of a Lego Kids Fest and a Lego Con? Because the Lego side of it, the company side of it, knocks the hands-on part of it out of the park. And they have they have the money, they have the resources, and they have the people that can do it.
Mm-hmm.
The community can knock the inspiration out of the park.
Every time.
They're the ones that can build the incredible layouts and displays. But a lot of times they kind of struggle with hands-on. Like that's the thing where, you know, you've got shows like Brick Fair that has carnival games. And it's like, you do what you can with the resources you have. Does it look really great? No. It's a tent, you know? And you've got things like sumo wrestling at Brick World. That's cool. You know, you've got like a volunteer who's there, who's got like some Lego t-shirt on, helping the kids do Mindstorm's sumo things on a plywood. I mean, again, using the best that they can.
Sure.
I'm like, how can we marry these together and have an event that lasts a week? And the, you know, Tuesday through Friday is the con, and the weekend is the expo, and Lego gets a benefit out of it, and the con gets a benefit out of it. It was never meant to be. There was
not to benefit Lego, but I still believe that there might be somebody out there who might put something together like that on the you know, not connected to Lego.
Sure.
Been great like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible. So I don't think it's impossible. And I mean, anything's possible with unlimited resources, but it's just like, you know, as I mentioned last time, when specifically when Brickfest Live and Brick Universe entered the arena, and their success was perceived as a huge threat to the company. And that totally, like, I mean, nuclear bombed all of my conversations with trying to meld the concepts together, because Lego, like in a blink of an eye, went from seeing these events as nothing to worry about to legitimate business to business threats. Like, we are trying to do a traveling Lego show. They're doing a traveling Lego show. We're getting brand confusion, and brand confusion was a legitimate concern. And when I say brand confusion, I mean people call Lego customer service because they didn't have a great experience at Brick Universe, whatever, or they send an email to Lego customer service because they didn't get everything in their package from BrickFest Live. This was real. This was real. And when these shows were like kicking and they were moving 100 miles an hour and they had 20, across the country, I was getting called into meetings and saying, Kevin, first of all, what is Brick Universe and what is BrickFest Live? Second of all, why do we have 300 calls this week about these shows? I'm like, dang it. I was like, no.
Here we go.
Because that was, as I mentioned last time, like things that I was trying my best to get a understanding of before approaching the wider business.
I got you.
And that rug was pulled out from under me. So I was kind of in like a defensive. I was like, I don't know. How do I defend this? How do I fix it? And then it just didn't really work out. And so, yeah, my conversations with the Lego events team, events marketing, and just the wider marketing organization really started to disintegrate when the other shows popped up that were they were good. They were too good. They were too good. And I'm not saying that to blow smoke.
No.
They were pulling in major numbers.
Yeah.
They were a legitimate threat to Lego's traveling exhibits and marketing efforts. And of course, they didn't want to work with them. They just wanted them to go away.
What year did Lego stop doing traveling things like?
Well, so they until very recently, they've never really stopped.
Okay.
They just keep evolving and changing them.
Okay.
So, you've got like the truck tours of the 90s.
Sure.
You've got, the traveling things in malls, like the architecture of like, American architecture, the Ninjago tour, the Chima tour. And that's the same team. The same team is doing all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So Kids Fest was around for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And then Kids Fest went away, and then they started the Creativity Tour, which was like Kids Fest again. And then that did it a couple times, and then they changed it again. So there's always like a thing.
Okay.
Because Lego has an events team, and that's what their job is. In addition to managing things like what's Lego's presence going to be at Toy Fair, and what is it going to be at Comic-Con, and like that all fits under the umbrella of events marketing.
Right.
And events marketing and community very quickly became arch enemies. We became arch enemies, and I was not prepared for that. I was already arch enemies with PR. And I was like, now I am arch enemies with PR and with events. And for someone who's desperately trying to open doors on behalf of the community, get more exposure, get more appreciation, get more support, get more money, you don't want to be making arch enemies in the company.
No.
And for people to understand, being arch enemies with PR, that's a long-standing rivalry, because PR in a lot of ways is about controlling the message. Lego wants to say X, Y, or Z. How do we make sure they say X, Y, or Z? That's why they seed out press releases to certain partners, like certain media outlets will get like a press release of a new set. Community is all about not controlling the message. It's about letting fans be fans.
Yeah.
And so when somebody smuggles a new Lego set out of a factory and takes a picture of it in your trunk, and then that floats on the internet, it messes up PR's plans, because they go, well, we wanted to announce that with, for example, we wanted to announce that with Fox on a show, and now it's ruined because a fan, and it's always a fan leaked it. It's never a fan leaked it, but it's always a fan leaked it. A fan leaked it, and now it's on all the fan sites, and a lot of the more pop culture sites will reference the fan sites to say, look what, because Lego's become a pop culture thing.
Yeah.
And so when there's like a Simpsons set or a Stranger Things set that comes out, the leaks are going to happen because everything leaks almost every time. And those leaks are going to get reported on a bunch of sites. If they don't get reported on the main sites, they'll get reported on the secondary sites. And those are Lego sites.
Mm-hmm.
And then the main sites, like when you start going into like main pop culture-y blogs,
Mm-hmm.
they'll reference the Lego sites for those. And it's caused major problems.
I remember, and this is just the one thing I can remember seeing the Simpsons stuff.
Yeah.
I think almost 6 months to a year before, and
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for it. It just showed up in my feed.
Always.
And I said, they'll never make a molded head for a minifig. and I was like, I didn't believe it until I saw it, and then I was like, they really should.
They did it. They done did it.
Shouldn't.
It's kind of hard for me to go back now, though.
Yeah.
Like for example, the Toy Story molded heads.
Yeah.
When I see the new Toy Story heads that are not molded, I don't like them as much as seeing if I see it normal, it's fine. If I see it molded and then you try to go backwards, I'm like, no, I already saw it molded. It's like, go backwards.
No, do better.
Like I can't have a standard sand green minifigure head with Squidward's ugly face printed on it. I need a molded Squidward head. That's what you gave me it once.
Yeah.
Just do it to me again.
Over now.
So, but so there was always a very like adversarial relationship with PR because they always wanted to control the message, and community stood for anything but controlling the message. And so I was like, great, now I'm enemies with PR and I'm enemies with events. I was like, wonderful. So I mean, the way I handled that was to continue to try to be beneficial to more other teams, because I'm like, well, I got to build allies. So it's time to build more allies with other people. Wow. But community inside the walls of Lego was a very interesting thing because you really didn't know how every day was going to go. I mean, I remember one day just out of nowhere, the licensing team came over to me just furious. And they were like, Kevin, what are these books? What are these books here? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, did you see this book? And they hold up Badass Lego Guns, which is a book. It's been out for many years. That book's been out like 15 years, produced by No Starch Press. And it's a bunch of instructions on how to make life-size guns. Right. And I was like, I don't know. It's a book somebody wrote. And they're like, yeah, but they're not allowed to call it Badass Lego Guns. And I was like, why not? I mean, they wrote it. I was like, I don't understand. And they were furious. And they're like, why aren't you stopping this? I'm like, that's not my job to stop these things. And then we had to set up a meeting for 2 weeks later. I felt like I was going to court. Like I walked into this meeting and the meeting had legal. So Lego legal was like in the middle of the table. And it was me on the other end of the table and licensing on the other end of the table. Yeah. And I had to walk in, and I walked in with a stack of Lego books because I always bought all the Lego books. I used my Lego corporate credit card. Every time there was a new Lego book, I bought it because I thought that was worthwhile stuff to have.
Oh, I think so.
So I had them all.
You tell me you took them home with you.
No. No, they were at the office. Good news. They all got thrown away when I left. What's actually, I mean, this is me getting a little ahead of myself, but I remember they were purchased with Lego money. They were not purchased with my money.
Right.
I had a really nice bookcase behind me, and it was, I mean, to the brim. Like I was starting to stack books on top. Like I was pretty organized. But of all, I mean, everything, all the Lego books, unofficial this, unofficial that, unofficial this, collector's guides, all of it. Because I thought it was beneficial to the company to have them. Sure. And when I left, I remember that fateful day of packing up my desk to go home. And of course there was an HR lady with me because watch out, Kevin might do something weird, because that's what you always do. You have some HR person, present so the employee doesn't freak out.
Mm.
And I remember she was like, "Are you going to take all these books with you?" And I was like, "These are Legos books." I was like, they're not my books. I mean, I took my stuff. Don't you worry. I'm not going to let you keep pictures of my family. But like these are Legos books. They were purchased. And she was like, "So you're not going to take them?" Even after I said that, she was like, "So you're not going to take them?" I was like, "No, I want to make sure that the next person who takes over for me has access to this." Because I mean, some of those were not in print anymore.
Right.
It was literally every book that I could find that the community had produced. And they sat there. They sat there in that bookcase. And not only was it every book, here's the thing that really does make me sad. It was the books. It was all the magazines. So every magazine from Brick Journal,
Mm-hmm.
ISPA Brick Magazine, Bricks Culture, Blocks, like every publication that has ever made, whether it was in English or not.
Mm.
Every issue was there. And also, this one is the one that hurts me the deepest.
Mm-hmm.
The souvenir program guide from every single fan convention I had ever gone to.
Oh, you should have took those home.
And again, I had multiple people say, "Are you not going to take these?" I said, "It is more important to me." And I mean, I'm not trying to play the sympathy card.
Oh, you don't have.
I need you to know that in my darkest days, feeling absolutely betrayed by this company, packing my desk to leave a 12-year career, I was told, "Aren't you going to take these things?" And I said, "It's more." I said these words.
Yeah.
I'm like, "It is more important for the brand to have these things, for the company to have these things, for the next person to be able to reference it. That way you're not starting from scratch." I mean, I'm still right. It's like, why on earth should I care about what and believe me, I've grown since that moment.
They've all gone home.
We have all grown. I would have taken all of them. I would have taken. So, but in case you're wondering what happened, all those books, all those magazines, all those program guides did sit there. They sat there for months and months and months because, of course, I still have friends that work in that office, and they would tell me, like, "Yep, it's all still on the bookcase. It's all still there." And then, I don't know, 6 months later, something like that, one of my former community team colleagues came over and said, "Why on earth did Kevin leave all this junk here?" And Paul, we've talked about Paul a few times.
Yeah.
Paul was still there, not part of the community team. We'll get to that. He walked over because he saw the commotion, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And like, "We're looking at all this paperwork that Kevin left." And Paul, who knew, was like, "Well, Kevin left that here so that whoever takes over can have access to all that information." They said, "Well, that's silly," and they threw it all away. All the program guides from every con. I mean, all the cons, every single one.
Wow.
All the magazines, a lot of those were no longer, you can't get them anymore.
Yeah.
All the books were all thrown in the garbage. And I know they were thrown away because some of the people I know in customer service went through the garbage and took some of them out and kept them for their personal enjoyment,
Yeah.
Which I said, you've got my blessing for whatever that was worth.
Absolutely.
But it's really sad. It's just like, it just shows a lack of caring about what any of this meant. But so that was a total tangent off of books.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right, Kevin. It's okay.
But that was about, coming into work one day, and here I am having to defend, why do Lego fans have the right to write a book about the hobby and sell it? And of course, the licensing team is coming at this from a degree of, well, do we want our brand associated with a book titled Badass Lego Guns? Or do we want the Lego brand associated with a book called The Brick Bible? Or what does this do for a relationship we have as a company with Scholastic or DK Books? Because they pay a fee to write about Lego and to use that big shiny red box. Whereas, why should they if Billy Bob can go write a book about whatever he wants to write and he doesn't have the red box, but he just says, Lego builds, and he like sells it.
By the way, Kevin, just so you need to know, DK Lego books are some of my favorite of all time, even as an adult. But the Lego DK books make me so happy.
I like them.
I get enough of them, but that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to share that I love those books.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. So whoever knew what the day was gonna bring. But so that was pretty turbulent. That was pretty turbulent stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was happening. Something. So I'm thinking back like where we are. We started training Paul into the community manager role, and I had a schedule laid out for him to go to 4 different shows, kind of like what Jim did for me. I wanted to kind of mimic that. No, I think it was 3. It was 3 shows because I went to 1. The first one was Brick Fiesta. I thought that was really cool because that was my first show, and I was like, here we go, passing the torch again. Wow. And so that was his first show where I was like, don't say anything. Just be there, be happy, be present, listen to me. And then the second show, we were like partners. And then the last show was actually one of the Brickfest shows. It was Brickfest Denver. So we went to Brickfest Denver, and that was his show where I didn't even wear anything that had Lego on it. I wore like nice clothing because I didn't want to look like a bum. But I was not – I was like, this is your show. I want you to take it and be the community guy. He did okay. He didn't do bad by any means, but I was really trying to push him. I said, Paul, I don't want you I want you to totally imagine I'm not here because I'm not going to be here next time. Yeah. And he did an official Lego Q&A session on stage. And he did fail because there was several questions which he had me go up on stage and answer for him. And I was like, even if you don't know the answer, man, this was your time to be like, you got to imagine I'm not there. Yeah. But it's okay. I mean, that was some of the stuff. But one of my moments I remember from that, and perhaps Clutch remembers, he was there. He was at that show, but I don't know if he was busy with stuff or listening. But I remember, like, this is now on the heels of me being a community manager for 5 years. I was a little burnt. I was a little crispy. I was kind of ready to move on to the next thing. And here I am at a show, no Lego on me. Paul, this is supposed to be his game. And he brought me up on stage. And I was kind of like, that's not really, literally, he was like, Kevin, would you please come on stage and answer this? I'm like, really? This is how you're going to, okay. I was like, that's, all right. So, I was kind of like coerced up on stage. Mm-hmm. And I remember one of the questions was, why is Lego so expensive? A question I've been asked a million times. Yeah. And I was not feeling it that day. I was sitting there going, I wasn't supposed to answer any questions today. I'm not even in Lego wear. I'm a little, I'm just a little aggravated that I was pulled up on stage. And so I gave a rather raw answer to that question, which was not any less true, but it was not the normal clean PR Kevin that was like, you don't say. So my answer was, because you keep buying it. That was my answer. And then I literally went and sat back down. I went upstage, got the microphone. I was like, it's so expensive because you keep buying it. Here you go. And I went and sat back down. And what was funny, in kind of a sad, ironic kind of way, after the fact, one of the exhibitors, a lady, she went over and filed a formal complaint against me to Paul. So because she didn't really know what was the command structure, what was going on. But she wanted him to know that my answer was highly inappropriate, to let them know. Again, it wasn't any less true, but that it was highly inappropriate. And then I needed to be a little bit more understanding of whatever. Yeah. And so Paul told me, And I was like, and I sat there and I go, okay, I feel a little bad. Yeah, I could have given the normal. Well, there's a lot of factors that go into pricing our products, such as the development time, our R&D, and the packing process across multiple facilities. And I was like, I'm just going to tell you the truth. It's expensive because you buy it.
Yeah.
If you didn't buy it, the prices would be adjusted. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
But so that was kind of an interesting thing, and I felt a little bad because I'm like, somebody out there thought I was trying to be an ass to them, and I wasn't. I was just.
Now, do we know who that person is? Are they a member of either Con or Denlug? Did you recognize them?
No, I don't. Honestly don't know. But one of the other things too is that a lot of the Brickfest live shows do tend to very successfully wrangle in kind of unaffiliated AFOLs. They do pretty good about getting folks that are not lug affiliated.
Like the entire Lego YouTube community that makes affiliate.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's a good thing to do, but so I don't think she was in either of those clubs. But yeah, that was his last show. I remember I actually added a day as well to that trip because I was like, Paul did not. He went back home. Yeah. But I added the Monday after because it was one of my first times to get back to Denver since I had left.
Oh, there you go.
And because there was no show there, why would I? There's no reason for me to go.
Sure.
And so that was really exciting. So I went back to the store that I worked in, and I was like, man, humble beginnings. Here I am. Who'd have thought? Like back in 2005 and 2006 when I took a job, and they were like, "You may be closing," and here I am. Corporate man with a Lego Systems Inc. credit card in my wallet with a $25,000 limit, a mobile phone. I got a laptop. I got my own Lego email address that I, at that time didn't even know existed. I didn't know I was going to have a kevin.hinkle@lego.com, which was a cool email to have.
Yeah.
It bounces now, folks. Just kidding. It comes right back at you.
Nice.
But it was really cool to go back there, and of course everyone's like, "Oh, we've heard about you," and it's like I used to be a sales associate here, and apparently that was inspiring to people. So they were pretty cool.
Look at old Kevin.
I know it was cool.
Young Timmy there.
Yeah. And
high school.
And I met up with my college buddies and went and visited my college campus again. And that was cool. Of course, it was also weird because my teachers were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm still working for Lego." And they're like, "Why are you not an artist yet?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." Which I've said has constantly been a thing with family and with like close friends. Is they're like, "Kevin, you're an artist. You're not a marketing representative." I was like, I know. It's a weird diversion.
He's an artist now, everybody.
Artist now.
My God, is he an artist?
It took a while.
He's got his own Etsy store. His own comic strip.
I do indeed.
It feels like it.
It's pretty fun. It's great.
We even do the Doodle stream on Friday mornings.
Every Friday morning.
Every Friday morning.
Yeah, this is how we're going to end. Yeah, I mean, it was, a bunch of little tangential stories today, but they're all interesting.
And you know what? They're all part of the greater story, and we're all in that area of the end of the greater story. So let him do what feels right to his heart.
And feel free to remind me if I forget what things. One of the things that I do want to talk about. Let's see, Kevin, remember to go back and watch the last 3-5 minutes of this stream. That'll remind you next time. Once Paul fully takes over, which is in that 2016, when we're also doing demand shaping and sales are going down and all kinds of stuff's going nonsense. I am going to go to my first Lego show ever as a fan, because I feel like I could. I feel like now that I'm not a community manager, I'm facing the company only. I'm not interacting with the community. I falsely assume that I can now go to a Lego fan event as a fan on my own expense, on my own cost, and just be a regular fan. I can't, but I will. I'm going to think I can, and I'm going to do it, but I can't.
Tell us which one it was.
Brick Fair, New England,
Oh,
because it was local. Because I could drive an hour to get. Or
sense.
that was when it was in New Hampshire. Still,
I thought it was Massachusetts.
it eventually moved to Massachusetts. It started in New Hampshire.
Okay.
So, but I do want to talk about it because it was a really interesting experience for me in a lot of different ways. But that was I like I said, I falsely assumed that now that I'm out of the spotlight, maybe I can just be me. No, I can't. So that's where we're gonna go.
All right.
1 hour.
Right close.
1 hour of goodness for everybody. Hopefully that kept you tantalized. I can't do Tyler's.
Literally the funny. Yes. Yes, Chris. We just talked about Lego Masters. My God.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Kevin.
Julian's over there. As always.
Yes. Pink glasses and all.
Stay healthy. Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe, guys. My Corona. You ready to go?
And remember,
You gotta love those bricks. Bye, everybody.